So first of all, I want to ask, what can you tell us about Nieva and Benidorm?
What can I tell you about It Snows in Benidorm?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's a story about a man um, who finds himself due to uh, losing his job, going to visit his brother, who he hasn't seen a long time, who he doesn't know what his circumstances are. Finding he gets there, finding his brother has disappeared, finding out lots of strange things about his brother that he didn't actually know, and that and he's a man that had shut down his life. He got used to had chosen a path in his life where he made himself very small. His expectations he'd cut down. His desires. He'd become a man that was a victim of his own restrictions. And this is a story about somebody who finds himself in circumstances which have gone peculiar and strange. And in the midst of this comes a woman that is extraordinary, the kind of woman he's never encountered before, and is quite unsettling for him. But he happens to find an absolute connection from his soul to hers without understanding what that is. In a sense, it's love at first sight from him, and it's his ability and the story about him trying to find his brother and trying to find a route to understanding this woman and try and see and to pursue what is going on in this relationship with her. It is the classic fish out of water story on many different levels, and it's the awakening of a man that put himself asleep. That's what it is. He put himself into a comatose state where he was barely alive, and slowly but surely these circumstances are making him come back to life.
And when you first read the script, what did you think about it? What did you like the most?
Well, all of that aspect I just mentioned then, but I like this bizarre mixture of Benidorm, a thriller, and an unlikely love story, and you're not really knowing what it is. What is it? A love story? Is it a thriller? And then I realised that it's neither, and it's both, and that it's it's a device to unsettle a creature that finds himself discovering something in him that he thought had closed or wasn't there, and that he discovers late in life that it not only is he able to be heroic even in the tiniest sort of way, but he has a facility and a proclivity for love, which he thought was no longer for him. It made a decision, an intellectual, although not an emotional decision, not to expect it. And he finds himself in two situations that he would never, 3 weeks before them happened to him, or even the day before them happened to him, would ever have expected happening. So it's a real, he's shocked out of his routine. Unpredictably so.
And
That's why
how's
I liked
been
it.
yes. So how's been directed by Isabel Coixet?
Oh, excellent. She is. It's. I've worked with quite a lot of director writers, and that's always a mixture because you know that you have any questions about the script, they'll answer them. That doesn't mean they'll change them if you need them. But also in this case, not only does she direct it, write it, she operates the camera. So it's like, she is the thing you're doing it for, and she's the audience, and there's there's an unpretentious, simple, but really smart attitude she has, which is an allowing, and that's a real skill in a director, where you allow the actors to discover things for themselves with you without ever telling them. So the whole thing between her Sarita and myself felt like we were, although she, she had probably a vision for it. She never forced it on you, although she was very precise about how it was to look. It never felt like we were being imposed. It felt like we were discovering something together, and that's quite rare, where you feel somehow confident but a little bit vulnerable at the same time. It's a great combination to have, because you're never, you're always thinking, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And we're concentrating on each moment, what it is emotionally in each moment, and then hopefully it all making sense, and that's it. So there's a vulnerability in it, which is great, scary but great. But I always felt confident because the writer, director, camera operator was there in it with us, and she never but felt like we were all in the same boat,
So what's been the most difficult thing about filming this film?
Well, now in relation to the difficulty just going about your everyday life is concerned, in retrospect, it seemed like it was a very simple thing. It wasn't really, just the difficulty was, like it always is, just making sure that, given the time you have, you get it, there's as an actor, one of the things you always worry about is that, will I be able to do it at that moment, given that you've got all these moments to try and build a character? You never know whether you're going to be able to do it. And it's been like that since I started when I was 21. Now I'm in my 60s. I still feel exactly the same. You never quite know. But when you're working with lovely people like Sarita, as director, as fellow actor, Isabel, and Carmen and Anna and Pedro and people, it was a really good experience, and it was the last job I did. We finished it. I came back to London. 2 weeks later, we were in lockdown.
And so also has been working with Sarita, as you mentioned.
Pardon? Oh, it's excellent. She's very, we got on straight away. She's a very open person. We both shared this thing that we both realised we'd both done our individual work on the characters, but we both shared this sense of not really knowing which way it was going to go. We didn't impose on each other any ideas. We just felt, like I said earlier, that we were going along with it and allowing it to develop. And because we got on and we were both open with each other, it felt like a really nice experience, and we had fun. We had a lot of fun as well, it was a very good experience.
And what would you tell people to make them go into the cinema to enjoy this film?
Well, what can I tell them? Just say it's a story about, love. It's never too late for love. It's never too late for love. It's never too late. That even, it's a bit like, we all expect older people to have given up, or to have been in control of their lives, or in some way to have accepted their lot, which he has, his character. This is about, somebody thrown into a situation that they never expected, and the good and the bad things that come out of it. Hopefully it's funny. Hopefully it's touching. But it's an unusual film because of its because you don't often see it. You don't often see an investigation of love between older people, particularly older people that are really should never in other circumstances ever meet each other. They're thrown together they are hostages to fortune, and a positivity comes out of it. So, it's just something that I hope brings laughs and fun, and also, never, this confounding of expectations that we have for older people, and and what they expect, what they expect themselves from life. You know.
So thank you so much, Timothy.
It's a pleasure. Nice to talk to you.